Coach Davis, just a quick opening comment about Jackson and Rob, adding them to the roster, and then we'll take questions.
I'm really excited about the addition of Jackson and Rob. They had played previously 2 years ago for Coach Brad Frederick on the JV team. And they're great players and great kids. And their ability to help us in practice and for us to prepare has been absolutely outstanding the last couple of weeks. And so I can't tell you how excited I am for them to be on the team. And they're great to be around every day.
Okay, questions, Greg. Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Coach, you're less than a week away from your opener. What are the things that you like that you've seen from your team over the last month or so since you guys have been gearing toward this?
No, I really like their attention to detail, and I like their hunger. One of the things that I've said to a number of people is that they're playing with a sense of desperation. And one of the things that they're desperate about is that they want to be relevant. So many times it's really nice to have a staff that is, guys that have played here, that have been here, that have had experiences here. And so, we've told stories, myself, Coach May, Coach Frederick, Coach Lebo, Coach Sullivan, about the experiences that we've had here at Carolina. And in a good way, I think they're tired of hearing our stories, our testimonies, our memories. They want to create their own memories and their stories and their testimonies of playing and winning and making big shots and big games and winning championships. And I really believe that that's the driving force in them over the last couple months since we've started practice. And it's fun to watch and it's fun to coach.
Steve, do we get a second question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I know coaches are never comfortable, but given the stage where
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable right now.
Well,
I'm completely comfortable.
Okay, then how comfortable are you with the guys adapting, not just the new players coming in and meshing in, but also the returning guys adapting to some of the changes that you've made?
Yeah, one of the things that I've told them that the foundation of Carolina basketball is going to be the same. I said, but there are going to be some tweaks, some pivots, some changes, and they've done really well with that. And I've been very happy with the returning players at adjusting to the tweaks, the pivots, the changes, as well as the newcomers and the freshmen and the transfers. And everybody's on the same page. And so from that standpoint, I feel very comfortable with them being able to adapt to my personality and my style of coaching.
One thing before we get to the next question, in the future, we've got 35 people on the call. If you all dial in at 1:58, it's hard to get everybody, allowed to record. So if you can kind of get on a little bit earlier, that would help make sure you all can record. Go ahead, Greg Barnes.
Hey, Hubert. Roy Williams.
Hey, Greg.
Roy Williams was known for using a man-to-man defense primarily. Dean, of course, used a little bit of multiple defenses. What is your defensive approach?
Mainly it's man. I'm a man-to-man defensive coach, and I believe in it. But I also believe in changing defenses. One of the things that I always say is I don't want the offense to get a steady diet of what they're looking at from an offensive standpoint. In order to do that defensively, you're going to have to make changes. And so I like to change. I like to play zone. I like to trap. I like to three-quarter court, soft trap, press. I like to try many different things and different looks so that from an offensive standpoint, whoever we play, they don't feel comfortable out there.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Noah Monroe.
Hey, Coach. Noah Monroe from the Daily Tar Heel. Kind of going back to that adjusting point, you have a transfer in Brady Manek. He's from Oklahoma. He played at Oklahoma. All of his family played college ball in Oklahoma. How do you think Brady has adjusted to being halfway across the country? And have you been seeing him be homesick at all?
He hasn't, because every week a part of his family's here in Chapel Hill, and so he's brought Oklahoma here to Chapel Hill. And I've said this to a number of people. I am upset that I'm only going to be able to coach Brady Manek for 1 year. He's been absolutely fantastic, not just on the court, but just his personality, his demeanor, his experience. I don't know where this team would be without Brady on this team. And I love coaching him. I love being around him, and I love his family. And he has been a huge piece of this team and is going to be an unbelievable player for us this year.
Brendan
Kinda
Marks.
going-
Go ahead.
And kind of going back to Brady, he's certainly a stretch big. He can play both the 4 or the 5. How do you see Brady's role as being this season, since he's just so diverse in what he can do?
Yeah, I love his versatility. I mean, you want to talk about on the offensive end, he has the ability to shoot the basketball. And I really believe this. I think he's the best shooting big in the country. It's not even close. His ability to shoot the basketball off of ball screens, down screens, any type of screens, flare screens is very valuable to us. And one of the things that I've said in the past is that I like versatile bigs. I want bigs that have the ability to score in the post, but also can make plays on the perimeter. He's very crafty. He can score down low on a block with either hand. And one of the things that I've learned about him is he's an unbelievable passer. And so his versatility on the offensive end is a huge piece in us of being the best offensive team that we can be. But he's also a great defensive player. I feel very comfortable with him switching all ball screens and having him guard guards out there on the perimeter. He is an unbelievable, fantastic basketball player.
Brendan Marks, then Aaron Beard.
Hey, Hubert, good afternoon.
Hey.
Just because it's a week before the season opener, I know Puff had been dealing with some injury stuff. Just sort of what's his status as far as rehab and generally sort of how healthy are you guys going into the opener?
Well, we're really healthy, and you mentioned about Puff, and Puff has had a couple of injuries, the last month and a half. Right now, he's dealing with the hip strain, and and one of those injuries, much like the hamstring, you can't rush back, you can't fight through. It just you need rest, you need time, and you need rehab, and that's where Puff is right now. And one of the things that I did say to Puff last week is I was so proud of him because it's very hard to, when things aren't going your way in terms of injuries, to not be positive and not celebrate the success of others. And the person that does it the best is Puff. He's been great at practice. His energy, his enthusiasm has really helped the team during practice. And I've been really proud of him. And I'm looking forward to when he's 100%, he's allowed to start practicing full and get out there on the floor.
Okay, gotcha. So would you anticipate him being available for the opener then, or probably a little bit away from that still?
I don't know. I would like that, but I don't know. The thing that's on my mind is I want him to be 100% healthy. So that's the only thing on my mind in regards to Puff.
Thank you.
Aaron Beard, then CL Brown.
Hey, Hubert.
Hey, Aaron.
When you bring in transfers, you're getting experienced guys, but obviously they're new to what you want to do here at North Carolina. Of course, I guess everybody to a degree. But how have you used that experience, Brady and Justin and Dawson, to help you kind of put the foundation of what you want to do together for preseason?
Well, the good part about Brady, Dawson, and Justin is they've played big time college basketball before, so they understand the preparation that goes into it. They understand how hard you have to practice, and they understand how hard you have to play just to put yourself in a position to possibly be successful. They have all been successful at their previous schools, and coming here, it's been a really easy transition for me to coach. I had known Dawson since high school, so there was a relationship there. Justin, he went to Panther Creek right here in this area and actually played against my oldest son. So I had known Justin for years as well. So that there have been previous relationships, but the transition, one of the things I talked about is, the transfer portal. If I can every year, if we need transfers, and if I could get a Brady Manek and a Dawson Garcia and a Justin McCoy, you can sign me up every year. I mean, they have been unbelievable for me, and I'm so glad that they're a Tar Heel, and I'm so glad that they're on our team.
CL Brown, then Michael Coe.
How you doing, Hubert?
Good.
I was curious from the secret scrimmage you guys had until now, did you kind of identify some areas in that game that you want to see for this exhibition? You want to see cleaned up Actually, could you identify those areas to us?
One of the areas that, we want to continue to get better at is taking care of the basketball. That's something that we struggled with last year. I think we were last, in terms of, we committed more turnovers than anybody in the ACC. And so one of the things that has been a huge emphasis for us all year is, making easy play and taking care of the basketball. I actually thought we did a really good job of that against Florida in the secret scrimmage. And so that's something that's always been a theme for us to continue to get better at, is taking care of the basketball and making sure that we're getting shots. I was very encouraged with our effort on the offensive glass. That's something that will never change. We've always been great at getting second chance opportunities, and that's something that we were able to get in that scrimmage against Florida. And I really liked our pace, the way that we pushed the ball either on a made or missed basket. I think, in that scrimmage, one of the things that was really good for me as a coach to see is how tough and resilient this team is. Florida they're very athletic. They're very aggressive, especially on the defensive end. And, for the first couple minutes, they kind of punched us. And I really felt great about how we responded to that. And I was really excited about it. I was very encouraged at the end of that scrimmage.
And could you give us some insight into your philosophy on the starting lineup? Like, we see against, would you prefer to have 5 guys that just kind of are the core and that you ride that out? Or is it something you might tinker with, depending on matchups, depending on practice leading up, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I think at this point, it could be a fluid situation, depending on practice, depending on matchups. In terms of the starting lineup, yes, I am thinking about it. It's not set right now. I feel like I'm close. But the thing that I've been focusing on more is the rotation, not necessarily the starting lineup. And we've got a lot of talented guys, and there's a lot of guys that want to play. And the competition at practice has been right where I wanted it to be.
Michael Coe, then Austin Bean.
Hey, Coach. So it's been almost exactly 7 months since you were hired as head coach. Looking back on your time in the position from April until today, what's something that surprised you about the role, either been easier or harder than you thought it would be?
No, I mean, nothing has surprised me. A question that I get all the time is, what has been the challenges of being a head coach? And I tell them that nothing has surprised me, and there hasn't been any challenges, and then one of the things that I always tell them that is, I've always loved basketball, and getting an opportunity to be around the game and to coach it, that's a dream come true. And then to be able to do it at a place that I've loved my entire life has just been terrific. And so having a chance, a front row seat to be able to help these kids out and to reach all their personal and their team goals is a privilege and it's an honor. And it's something that I look forward to every day. I'll be honest with you. It was 2 days ago, I think, Eric Hoots, one on our staff came directly to me right after practice. And he said, "You're having fun, aren't you?" And I said, "Eric, I am." I said, "I'm having a ball." I said, "I just love being around these kids on and off the court. It's a joy to be able to coach them and to hug them and to teach them and try to get the best out of them." And that's what I am. I'm having the time of my life.
So for the first time ever, the Zoom's telling me it's going to kick me out at 2:20. So keep these questions quick, please. Austin Bean, then Luke DeCott.
Hey, Coach Davis. Austin Bean with Daily Tar Heel. I know you touched on your relationship with Dawson Garcia a little bit, but I was just kind of wondering, just apart from his basketball skill, kind of what you saw from him, just from a personal side, and just, kind of as a leader and a teammate on the court.
Can you repeat that question again? I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. Just kind of apart from Dawson, just how good of a basketball player he is. I was just kind of wondering what you kind of identified from him early on a personal level, just kind of, as a leader and a teammate on the court.
Well, his experience of, last year playing at Marquette and has been really great for us. He's a guy that can dominate a game on both ends of the floor. One of the things that I think people are going to be able to see, not I think I know, is that he's an outstanding, unbelievable defensive player. I mean, he's a guy that I feel completely comfortable with playing any position defensively. And then on the offensive end, his ability to score close to the basket on the perimeters is something that's valuable to us. But it's also, you know, his attention to detail and his want to. You know, one of the things with Dawson is I never have to coach effort with him. He's in the gym. He's the first guys in the gym. He's one of the last guys to leave it. He comes in at the middle of the night. He's treating this season as a professional, and he's going to have a terrific year, and he's going to have a long, unbelievable NBA career as well.
Luke DeCock.
All right, I'll go quick. You talked about tweaks and pivots, things you want to change without getting away from the foundation of Carolina basketball. When we see your team take the court, will it look different to sort of bystanders, or will it look like UNC basketball, or how much you have to know about it to sort of perceive what's changed?
It'll look like UNC basketball. And as I said before, the foundation has been set. It's been here for a number of years, and it's something that it's been tried and tested and proven successful. And as long as I'm here, that's not going to change. The tweaks and pivots that we're trying, that we're adjusting to is things that are consistent with the foundation of what Carolina basketball is all about. And one of the things that I've always said is I want former players, whether they're at practice, they're watching a game, they're reading a newspaper, whatever it is, I want them to be able to identify with this place, and I want them to see this place and go, that's the Carolina that I experienced. That's the Carolina that I went to. And so when they see us play, whether it's Friday or Tuesday or next Friday, they'll be able to identify with that.
Greg Hall.
Sorry, Hubert, Gregory Hall with Inside Carolina here. Who are the leaders on this team? Who has emerged kind of vocally on the court?
Everybody. I've encouraged everybody to be leaders. I've encouraged everybody to set the standard of how we want to prepare, how we want to practice, and how we want to prepare every day. You know, I've encouraged everybody to have a voice. You know, we're at some point we're going to announce captains, but one of the things that I'm going to tell the team is just because that we've announced specific captains, everybody on the team is a captain. And so that's the way that I've approached it. I encourage everybody on the team to be leaders in order for us to reach all of our team and individual goals.
Caitlin Schmidt from the DTH.
Hey, Coach. Could you just talk a little bit about Kerwin Walton's potential for the season, his three-point percentage, and his defense?
Yeah. I've really pushed Kerwin in practice this year because I really feel like that he can take, you know, he has so much potential and he can take another step in his development and being a great player. You know, one of the things that he always talks about is Kobe, and that was his favorite player, and always talks about the mindset that Kobe Bryant had, and that's something that he wants to adopt to himself. And one of the things that I've been challenging him on is that one of the things that Kobe Bryant was great at is he was not only terrific on the offensive end, he was an outstanding defensive player as well. And I really believe Kerwin can do that. He's much more than a three-point shooter. You know, he's a fantastic passer. He can put the ball on the floor. He can make plays. But the area where I feel like that he can improve the most is on the defensive end, and he's able to do that. I think he can be a defensive stopper out there, and he's really bought in this year to becoming better defensively. And I've been proud of his improvement on the defensive end, and I love his attention to detail and how hard he's working on that end.
Davis Wallace.
Hey, Coach Davis, how can the fans help the team this season?
Be in the stands before 7:00, cheering all the time, 22,000 every home game, supporting all of our student athletes. You know, one of the things that I always say is, yes, they're 6'10", they're 6'11", they can jump out of the gym and they can run like a deer, but they're just kids and they need support. And so, you know, just for late night, you know, coming out and seeing fans out there, I can't tell you how many times that the players have come back and said, you know, that was a big deal, just having people in the stands and supporting them. And so they're really excited about the exhibition game on Friday and playing our first 2 games at home, and having that support and having people in the stands is something that they look forward to and something that they need in order for them to be the best that they can be.
Isaiah Lucas.
Hey, Coach. Isaiah Lucas from Inside Carolina. Just wanted to know what you're expecting out of Friday night's exhibition game.
I want to play well. I want to play well. I want us to continue to improve. I always feel like, and I tell them that, once we step on the floor, the number one thing that we want to do is we want to get a little bit better. And so for us as a team, I want us to get better on both ends of the floor. It's our development in terms of becoming the team that we want to become in order to put ourselves in the chance to achieve all of our team goals, which are win the regular season ACC title, the ACC tournament title, get to a Final Four, and win a national championship. And so, one of the things that we always talk about is the process. Just focus on the practice and the process, and the end result will take care of itself. And so Friday's exhibition game is part of the practice, is part of the process of getting us to where we need to be.
All right, that was the last question, Coach Davis. Thank you. Everybody appreciate you jumping on, and we will see hopefully many of you Friday night. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.